Here we are. Okay, we're starting.
Hi.
You can drink though. It's fine. I figure you're gonna have to do it during the duration of it at some point.
But it was funny. It happened right at the beginning.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for coming out and kind of supporting this project, and also just meeting with me. It's been a minute. It's been a long time. So thank you.
Yeah. When was the last time we saw each other?
During the sort of intimate
was it
visual.
2022?
Oh,
It
Mama. Yeah,
wasn't
Mama
that far
Nia's.
back, was it? Oh my gosh.
She showed me real. Yeah, it was back then.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm glad that we made time for this, because time, wow, goes by fast.
Very fast, and so many changes.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? Well, first of all, let me introduce, or I'll let you introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself.
Okay. Who am I? No. Okay. All right. Greetings, audience. My name is Mama Ankhi Ma'at Shepsu, also known as Mama Tonya Pool. And I'm putting Mama in front of that because that's how Ra and I met. Ra, or because I be getting new names. We all got new names, so I need to be up on.
Or to the general public,
in
I'm
this
Ra
interview,
YUKAWA.
you're Ra.
Yeah. Ra
Okay.
YUKAWA, yeah.
Ra. So when Ra and I met, I was working, if you will, and I call it work, but it's not. It wasn't like a job. You know what I mean? It's sacred work. It's soul work. To be a mama in the community, right? And so we had a rites of passage program at the time, and Ra became a part of that, and so I was one of the facilitators of that, and so that's just kind of where those names, when you hear Mama and Baba, just in case you don't know, but and so that's who I am. Yes, I don't know if I.
Where are you from, and where you based? Where your people from? All those things.
Yeah, so I am from Greensboro, North Carolina, and so born and raised in Greensboro, North Carolina. A lot of my people are from the East Coast, and so very much a Southern East Coast girl raised, Yeah.
Okay. You said, so that's it. Your family's from here too as well?
A lot of my family is from, like, my dad's side. Trying to do my genogram,
Of course, yeah, you could, because you can really go dig deep with it. And
I don't know how to,
there's
I appreciate
no summary for it.
Okay, so I mean, a lot of my family, my dad's side is from North Carolina. A lot of my mother's side is from Virginia, and then kind of spread out from Virginia, Maryland, Philadelphia, that area, and then going down south, Georgia, Florida. And so, very much, a lot of East. So I had some amazing adventures on the West Coast recently.
Yes.
And I rather enjoyed it. Just putting that out there.
West, yeah. You were in the Bay, right?
Actually, no, I was in Southern California, in San Diego and Los Angeles.
I gotta visit there. Southern California keeps coming up for me. I've been a Northern California type person, the Bay Area and all of that.
That's where I want to go. I do want to visit, Northern California, but Southern California was very nice to me. So,
if you love that, you definitely gonna love Northern California too. Then I feel, because that's how I guess my first experience with California was in Southern California. Yeah, I went on a mission trip back in the day, way back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
To it was a church named the Dream Center, and so we were just out there doing the Lord's work, And I mean, no shade.
Yeah,
Just,
no, I
just
feel you.
you know what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were there doing that, and that was my first introduction in Los Angeles. And I fell in love, and I always had to go back, and then I tried to move out there in the Bay, and just love it, both of them.
I really and I remember when you went to California. Now that you're reminding me of that, because I remember you going to the Bay Area around that time, 2016, 2017,
During the Rite of Passage,
somewhere around there. Yeah, and one of the things that I'm open to doing is going bi-coastal, spending more time. Definitely, it's a lot of things I'm doing on the East Coast. I can't really leave. Not that I want to. I'm always, but it's that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. You feel what I'm saying? Anybody who's watching, that where your roots are. There's also work there too. You know what I mean? And so I do not at all say that begrudgingly. There's a lot of amazing things that I'm doing on the East Coast, and have had the opportunity to explore how that might look on the West Coast. So like when we talk about, we mentioned before we got on, the Healing Wheel Retreat coming up. And so we are looking to, at some point, doing a Healing Wheel Retreat West Coast. So that will require that I, go out there a little bit more and get a bit more feel of where that can happen. So it's kind of like bridging both of my worlds in a way together. That's kind of where I am in life right now.
Both of your worlds. So you actually have included the West as a part of your world.
Oh my God. This is just the first time I've said that. Yes, I guess so.
Epiphanies do happen with the Nothing Foreign interview. So
yeah. Wow.
That was a beautiful moment. You claimed the West. I love it. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing too to take the healing wheel work. I don't know if y'all thought of course I feel like y'all thought of this. To really honor. That's a part of herself too, Yalosha Omire.
Yes. So those of you, I know that some of the other mamas have been here. Mama Omilade, check out her interview if you haven't with Ra. Also Mama J. And so each of us have mentioned our dear sister, Mama Nia. If you all see my earrings, Yalosha Omiire Aset Siadagun, but affectionately known as Mama Nia in the community. And so one of the things that she was from Oakland, so she would rep the Bay, even though she was here in North Carolina. Any point, any opportunity she got, she would represent, the Bay Area and just the West Coast as a whole. And so I think that's probably why, because before she transitioned, Robbie trying to get us to cry.
No.
Robbie's trying to get us to cry.
It's just,
but this is real.
She likes she wants that to flow though.
Yeah, for sure. Listen,
I know you've done a lot of flowing of it, but
and when you become a real grown woman, and you just have like, I don't want to say bag lady, because bag lady is also all of your traumas and all, just baggage. Everything. Yeah, baggage. But every woman is at least a one bag woman. Yes. And comes prepared. Why did I bring tissue, y'all? Just in case. Yeah, like, look, I knew Rob wasn't gonna come with no tissue, so I was like, let me be prepared.
I would have. I need to start. You know what? We got one more mama that I'm trying to get on here. I might need to bring some tissue for her.
Watch her be the one that doesn't cry.
Mama Dundara. Mama Dundara.
Yeah, I love you, Dundara.
Yes.
You'll be the one that won't cry.
Right.
We all up here like this. And you'll have plenty of tissue just for her.
Yeah, that'd be funny. It'd be the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, before she,
but I pulled it together. So anyway, so Nia was from Oakland. For those of you who did not have the pleasure of knowing her. And in the honor. And so before her transition, she and I talked about, me traveling, doing some work on the West Coast as well. And so it's interesting to see that since that time has been, has been when I've gone, to California a couple of times since then. Yeah. So, yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Yes. Okay. I guess I can go to my. Oh, what's the work that you do, like titles or stuff like that, or
Yeah, so
names?
it's several titles.
Okay.
But for in terms of the work that this work we're talking about now with that the legacy that we're carrying on, that was helped to be founded by Mama Nia, is Indigo's Cultural Arts Centers. And so I'm the executive director now of Indigo's Cultural Arts Centers, which is the nonprofit that Nia founded. Under Indigo's, we have the Greensboro Kwanzaa Collective, which, just shout out. We've been doing the full 7-day Kwanzaa celebration in Greensboro, North Carolina, because usually you got to go to like Raleigh or Charlotte or Winston, other places. And there was kind of a void in the community for that. So we wanted to make sure we had that here. So Indigo's Cultural Arts Centers is the house of the Greensboro Kwanzaa Collective. It is the house of the Healing Wheel retreats for Black women. We do that every Labor Day weekend. And then our Rites of Passage program, which we already talked about, is how you and I met. Yes. So, and other things too. We are actually co-executive producing a film called Think Like an Ancestor, which is one of the reasons also why I was going out west. I have a cousin who's a filmmaker, and so he's the other executive producer on that. So it was some collaborative work there. And so that's what I talk about, like that East and West Coast kind of thing right now.
So you have a cousin based out there. You got any other family based out there? Just curious.
Yeah, I have my brother and my cousin are out there. But now my cousin is moving back to North Carolina because North Carolina does have a film industry as well. Like, and so
they have that Black film. Oh, that's a theater festival in Winston-Salem. Not a film, but
Yeah, that's a theater festival. This is the year for that this year. But so shout out to my cousin Bobby Poole, and his film company. He does a lot of great work. So that's that's kind of not to I don't know. I guess you are interviewing me. I was about to say not to just talk about me, but I guess you are.
I'm asking about you right now.
Asking about me. But that's kind of was probably why we haven't sat down in a while. It's just learning to manage all of these things and balance all of these things.
Right. I got you. And what you said was some other titles too that you hold?
Oh, yeah, that was just for work. I didn't know if you were...
Oh, it's okay. It's up to you. That's all up to you. You
good
on that? Okay.
I just didn't know which
yeah, no, this ain't that, okay. If you don't,
if it happens naturally,
Yeah, that's just you. All right, for myself, I'm Ra YUKAWA. YUKAWA took on my grandmother's surname, my paternal grandmother.
Okay.
So that's from her lineage. So carrying that, honoring her and her life and her family. So YUKAWA, Ra. The name, I was actually, I don't know if you remember that one session, I guess you could say, when we were in this like little, it was an intimate ceremony. I don't have any kind of thing for it, but she was telling me about my name, Mama Nia.
Yeah.
And she told me how you chose it, but you think you chose that name, but the name chose you.
Listen.
And that was also the moment when you told me about Kepra.
Oh.
And then I got the beetle tattooed for Kepra.
I remember that. Well, I don't remember you getting the tattoo,
no,
and that's
course,
a dope tattoo. That's a really nice tattoo. Oh my gosh.
I fill it out a little bit more, but yeah.
It's nice. And I remember that conversation. And I remember, Nia being like, okay, you chose that name. I'm going to make you hold that,
Yes.
How you going to hold it, And, so it's so to hear that now, years later, just you carrying that. Sometimes, you want to see the fruit.
Right.
You want to see some of the fruit that... you want to see your work, you know what I mean? And not just, it's your work, you know what I mean? It's your work on yourself. But I was there to bear witness in those moments when it happened. Exactly. So to see you now, 2024, having this conversation about your name, it's like,
yes,
it's amazing.
You were a part of the journey. somebody, I don't know if I learned this in the Rite of Passage, but I don't know if I learned this in the Rite of Passage, but it was saying you don't own people's journey, but you help them along the way. Like you help, like, okay, yeah, I am Ra, or yeah, I've become who I am, or whoever else in the Rite of Passage, they become who they are, but you don't own that journey of like, you are who you are because of me. It's like, no, you are who you are because I helped you along the way.
Right.
For it to be, it's something of that sort.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
yeah, and you definitely were a part of it and helped me to come into Kepler. I looked it up, read about it like he told me to, and I was just like, it was a part of me coming into my being, which is pretty much what the Kepler all symbolizes, like coming unto yourself or coming up and out.
That's the beautiful part about it too, is that sometimes even when we don't have full understanding of things, we lean in a certain direction for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. You were already leaning towards, your own consciousness was already leaning towards those names and what they mean. Right. Even though you consciously, I'm sure you would say you know more about the meaning of those names now than then. Like if you had to just weigh it, like who knows more intellectually, it will be you now, because you probably read more books and had more life experience and all of that kind of stuff. But it was still your own soul that chose that. Right. That it was still that infinite wisdom within you that chose that. And so then when Mama Nia comes, Omi Ire, or myself, we're just turning the mirror back on yourself and saying, you chose this. You chose that path, that destiny, right. So now it's time to understand a little bit more as to why, Mm-hmm. It doesn't make it less legitimate if you didn't fully know the why at the time. It was still legitimate because it was birthed in you through infinite, mm-hmm. intelligence, infinite by the source of all. You know what I mean?
Correct. Because it's not a linear type of progression. It's very cyclical, and mm-hmm. you come to know something even though you don't know it, and you come to know something again even that you knew in another way. Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, it's just like you said, infinite. I like how you phrase that. Is that part of the Kemetic teachings? No,
I mean,
is that just your poetic? It was beautiful.
How it came together. But it was a thought I was having in the moment. But in terms of like the infinite source of, I won't take credit for that, title or that name. Sure. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But how, just it was just, I think this moment birthed whatever was said. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Because again, it's just like being in awe of realizing that you're always walking out your own path, even if you don't understand why or if it is something that you need to understand why, then the right people will come on your path. The right book will come across your path, whatever you need, I don't know. I'm just sharing that. Yeah.
No, that's real, because even starting these interviews, I just really didn't. I just was like, I want to do these interviews. I'm going to interview me and my friend. We want to talk about ourselves, talk about art, talk about life. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to interview another one, and I'm going to interview another person, because I'm just very interested in people's minds, and certain ones, certain people didn't want to do it or didn't respond, and all this type of stuff. Certain people did, and it's like, I feel like it's beyond me. I'm being led and seeing, what happens from that, being in tune with the infinite source.
For real, like, as we're filming this, is Cancer season, right? Mm-hmm. And water sign, we're hearing the water back there. First water sign of the zodiac. I'm a Virgo sun sign, so it is easy for me to think more sometimes than to just delve into the feeling of, even though I feel, but it's not like the how do I want to say? Basically what I'm saying, in this season, in this moment, so it's more of a flow. There's more with water, there's more of the flow. So we're kind of like in a flow season right now. And I told myself during Cancer season, that's what I was going to do. You know what I mean? Just kind of allow, the flow to, so basically what you were talking about with your name and everything. I know, like, we didn't have a script for this. Virgo would be like, what's the script for this interview? What's the,
we're flowing,
or what's the, is there certain questions I need to know, or how, all that kind of stuff. But it's just like, just show up and just flow. Let it, just let it be. So, yeah. And look what came out of that. You talking about your name and whatever was said about infinite source.
Everything that was said about it, yes. So yeah, it's your opportunity right now to flow. Have you been having a lot of opportunities this season to, before it, maybe like to usher in the season? Have you been starting to flow more? That's cool. That's okay. We still got time. We just coming into it.
Yeah, I'll say yes for the most part. Yeah. Yep. I'm just learning to flow more with this. It'll be interesting to watch this interview a year from now.
Yes. It's always something.
But as you know, the past couple of year and a half, it's been a lot of change and a lot of transition. And so I just really feel like at this point I'm learning to flow more with how things, with the course of life now, you know what I'm saying? And that's why even when we talked about the West Coast, that's why that's easier now, because I'm not there's less resistance with certain things. Is when you become more clear about your path and the things that you have been called to do, you just start to do them more. You try not to overthink it. You try to, you go more into the flow of that, So really, I would say at this point is just really getting to the point of learning what that looks like for me. And, and that's something that I would like to share with you and your audience too, because you think like when you get to a certain age in life, like, oh yeah, when I hit 30, I'm going to have, everything's going to be together. Or when I hit 35, everything. And the beautiful thing about it, my life is beautiful, y'all. I'm not going to say it is not the thing, but the beautiful thing about it is that life always gives you opportunities to grow. Like just when you think, oh, I can't grow anymore, or I figured it out, life is like, but how about now? How about this playing field?
Right.
How do you become more of Ra, in this iteration of you? What does this moment in time require of you? And so those are some of the questions that I have begun asking myself, and really seeing the beauty in that, because sometimes people, and even I would say women in particular, get afraid of that. And I'm like, that's when it gets exciting, because that's when like new beautiful growth and change and some next level shit you ain't even thought about is on the horizon, And so, if you just lean into that. And so that's why I talked about that flow. So because I've come to understand seasons in life, now I know, like, oh, it's time to flow this way, or that way, Yeah.
And it's funny you said that women usually have a problem with that, or it's a little harder, or a little bit more of a challenge, because, oh, that's what that is, mosquitoes. Yep. Well, I should have bought some bug spray. Did you bring any?
No, and I got this whole bag. See, that's already a lesson right there. You women, we be having bags.
Come on, Virgo, you supposed to be practical.
Oh gosh, I have water. I will have, survival. I can survive at water and tissue.
I got a brochure.
We out here totally like useless and helpless.
It's okay.
No, I don't have any
okay.
bug spray.
But yeah, women challenge to not to touch, a challenge to flow. That's interesting, because women are supposed to be like feminine, flowy. But you know, life and society and things have hardened the way that women flow and make them more rigid and masculine. More masculine than they probably want a balance to be, or they feel in their body. So yeah, that's a very interesting point too.
Yeah, and so that's why
The Healing Wheel Retreat. The Healing Wheel Retreat is a good space for that to just like, you know, be worked out and balanced.
Yes, the Healing Wheel Retreat. I don't know when you're watching this, but registration closes July 31st. This is our 11th annual Healing Wheel Retreat. It was actually started by Mama Nia, and we do this every Labor Day weekend. It's like a max of 15 or 20 women, max, and it's 3 days, 4 days, or 3 nights or something like that. And we're in nature, but I mean, you know, like you will have a shower, and so those are questions we get, like how much in nature will we be in? So we won't have you in a tent, you know.
There'll be bug spray probably.
Yeah, but there'll be bug spray. There'll be excellent food, excellent meals, and it's just a place and a space for us to utilize like our own tools. A lot of the tools that are being marketed right now is like the trend originated with us, right? And so we're utilizing, you know, using our own tools. We also do have a therapist there as well. So we're again that East and West thing, you know what I mean? Like about the Eastern and or African centered ways of healing, right? And balancing that with Western ways of doing that as well, because we live in both. And so just really it's just such a nurturing, healing space and loving space for Black women.
Ashe, yes.
And so go to indigoscac.org. I know, but you had me talk about it, so now I gotta. People gonna be like, you done said all that. Where's the?
Come on now, executive director. Yes, and it's gonna be in the description too as well. So we're gonna be good. But the food part though, yes, excellent Vittles. They always have for anything that Indigo's Cultural Arts does, in the Greensboro Kwanzaa Collective events, the Indigo's Rite of Passage. Definitely, we had great food. That's when I was introduced to Mama Mayat's food. I don't know. Yeah, it was so delicious.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It was like this cashew cheese pizza and like the kale salad thing. I don't know. It was a couple.
Oh my gosh. And here's the thing, like people be thinking like at the time I still ate more meat than I eat now. So when I was like, oh, this is like a vegetarian retreat, and I was like the whole time, no, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. But shout out to Mama J also, who was on another interview here, who usually oversees our kitchen. She's still overseeing that, but we're hiring caterers now as well. We moving on up. We're moving on up, but it's still amazing.
Yes.
Still full of love. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I could feel the love in the food. But yes, and Mama J did have a kitchen of her own too. She talked about it a little bit too. So that's only right. But yeah. To continue my introduction, I'm an artist. It's a disciplinary storyteller and artist. I have a community, quote unquote. Basically, it's my art project. Everything that I do artistically is underneath the title of the YUKAWA community. So the YUKAWA community is just part of Nothing Foreign is a part of the YUKAWA community. These interviews and just the whole idea on its own, the concept of it on its own, and anything that comes from it. And my music, I do the visuals. I do for that. TLWY, my arts collective, The Love Was In, is a part of it. The book that I'm writing, which is a brand on its own, a whole world on its own, The Alchemy of Temptation, xxxalchemy.com. So yes, it's
check the description box below. Click the link
at yukawa.co. But yes, it's that's what I've been doing. That's what I'm about. That's where spirit, my ancestors have led me God, Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Allah Dumare, all the all the names has led me. So yeah, that's what I do. Filling you in because it's been a minute.
I know. Oh my gosh. Like, first of all, your whole list just now, just knowing everything that you're doing, like, I always felt like you were doing something. Like, I knew you were down there doing, when I say down there, Goldsboro or wherever, but like
In the southeast.
You know what I mean? I always felt like you were, I don't know, it's almost like I could always feel creative energy. Even like if you would cross my mind, even if I didn't know all of the things that you were doing, you know what I mean? So it's amazing to hear, like, wow, first of all, how do you feel? You know how some people say, I don't have a talent. And here you are, you can write, you can produce music, you know what I mean? You can, art, like, you're such an artist in so many ways, like, but that probably feels that's just normal for you.
It is just the flow. It's just about how I breathe, how I live. That's just it. I can't, if I'm not creating art, I'm not living. I'm not. So that's my purpose. That's who I am. I am art. You know what I mean?
That's your Nia purpose.
That's my Nia, yes.
Nia is Swahili for purpose, for those of you who might not know. But yeah.
Definitely.
That's your purpose. That's deep. That's deep.
Yes. You're deep. She's like, whatever. Okay. That works. Yes, Mama, we might have to do another one because I want to get into astrology, and I don't know, that's deep. Yeah. Do you still do any readings and do any work around astrology? I remember you were doing.
Yeah, not as much for other people right now, just because there's so many other things on my plate.
Yeah, definitely.
But because of some of the other work that I do, that still has to be, you know what I mean, like definitely. A part. So I still do astrology and different things like that, but I have not I have not, like, oh, my books are open, sort of thing. Yeah
that makes sense. Yes. And I guess we could probably close out with your chart then. No, I'm joking. No, charts, you keep them tucked, they close right, but some people don't mind, like maybe your big 3.
Virgo.
I'm curious because I never really knew. I know you were Virgo though, for sure.
Virgo sun, Virgo rising, and Gemini moon.
I have a Gemini. Okay, I go by the the Vedic, as well.
The Vedic. Yeah.
So I'm a Gemini moon in that.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think about the Vedic? Just curious.
It is something that I would like to learn and know more about. Like,
that's valid.
I know it's legitimacy and and everything like that. So I know some people be really strict about Vedic versus Western. Western is just how I learned it. You know what I mean? And so, like, if I ever get the time, I will also just be interested to learn the Vedic system a little bit more. And the Kemetic,
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, the Kemetic actually follows more of the Vedic anyway. I had already studied the Western, so it's just really, when the time is right, I'll become more proficient on
truly.
The Vedic. Yeah.
I was gonna ask about the Kemetic system too. Like, so what when you're talking about your signs in the Kemetic, what do you say? Like, do you say a particular, like, Osir or something like that? This moon, some.
Oh yeah.
How do you say that? Like, big 3 wise.
So for that, because there is a lot of astrology in the Vedic, they will.
Oh no!
You like you say?
I was thinking so, and I was looking that way. No, I'm gonna tell you, Mama.
Okay. I was like, let me know. I was just gonna trust you,
Yes.
But yeah, in the Kemetic, there is a lot of astrology there. And so sometimes, you'll hear people refer to their astrological positions, you know what I'm saying? Either from a Western or a Vedic position. But typically also, there's more also of an identification, if you will, yes, with like the Nater, that's on the tree of life. So
The tree of life, okay.
yeah, so there, it's infused in people's names, or they may, or if they had like what's called a destiny reading, and the reading shows that a particular Nater is more governing or participating, helping them out in life, then it would be like,
Okay.
they may lean more to that than the astrology, is what I'm saying.
Understood. Which, just a little plug for the Rite of Passage, I was given that reading, from you. Why you say, like...
Oh, I thought it was the destiny reading, because I was like, well,
The destiny, yes. It was a destiny, but it was Kemet. Yeah, y'all both came together and did.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, wow.
That was big.
That's huge. Oh, wow.
We were blessed and like
Never
so...
lose that.
Yes, I have it. Very blessed to have. If I'm not mistaken, but I'll send it to you and you let me know for sure if that's what it is. But we had a lot of blessings from the Rite of Passage. So many things, keys and tools given to us from y'all that was just...
We did do that.
I mean, technically free in a way, and just... I mean, of course, energetically we was... But yeah.
That's why we would be so mad when y'all wouldn't do something. You know what I mean? It was like we
actually, there were moments where you was like, "This is all free." So what do you? And you're valid. You're valid every time.
That's why they would call us mamas in the community, because that's when like y'all would see that mama side. Like, I'm over here doing a whole reading and charts and that whatever, and not to say but you specifically, but you know what I'm saying. That's how you're on your P's and Q's. But that's why we would sometimes have those go hard moments, and I know it would be like, oh God, but
no, it was
now
necessary.
You understand.
I understood then.
You understood then.
I was on them P's and Q's.
You were already a little bit more mature.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking forward to helping out with the next Rite of Passage. I want to do that. I know I don't live here, and it'd be like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a hermit, but
pull you out.
Pull me out. I need to, figure it out. But yeah. I definitely want to do
Don't say that out loud. Y'all got it. Y'all heard.
This is the third time, Mama.
You're right, because I did see that you said it with Mama J.
Keep saying.
Yeah. Listen.
And hopefully that is like, it manifests as like word to matter, to form.
And let me tell you, and because I know that you were interviewing me, right? But so much of what I'm doing right now involves this sacred work. That's just the best way I can describe it. Because if I call it work, it'll feel like a job. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that. It's like it's so much more. And so it's only fitting that those who were impacted by it along the way, such as yourself, come back and give back in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Trying to be like mentors or elders in a way.
Yeah. So we're working on those things. If it feels slow, it's just because we had to, restructure and all that kind of stuff. But, we're working on those things. So even if it's 6 months from now, I'm like, okay, Ra, don't be like, dang, that was in the summer when I said that. I ain't mean.
I expect it to be 6 months to a year. Like, take your time. I'm a slow burn, so I see it that way.
Or maybe before that, though, Kwanzaa.
Maybe before that?
Now
that's
7
still
days.
in the energy, yo.
Yeah,
that's still in the energy, so we could do that.
Yeah,
we could do
we'll
that.
Get you for at least one of those days. Like,
oh, for Kwanzaa? For sure, yeah. I want to do that, too.
Yeah.
All of it.
It's on the record.
It's on the record. Let the record reflect. I'm definitely just like I said, wanting to be of service and back in the community in some sort of way. I wouldn't want to move back out here, but
Yeah.
it's a big, small circle. It's only one Whole Foods. That really bothers me. There's no Trader Joe's. I love Greensboro.
No, I'm not. I get it. No,
There's no Weaver Street Market.
There's the Greensboro Kwanzaa Collective.
There's that though. That's the only reason I come back here. Do you understand? I like Roots too. That Roots is nice. The Roots.
Deep Roots Market.
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Come
out.
on. Yeah, you know what I'm
There's
saying.
some beautiful things around here.
Like we a town with one stoplight and one grocery store.
It feel like that sometimes, but I'm just
I'm
919 to the
Whole
core.
Foods now, right here in Greensboro.
That's right. That one Whole Foods, and they took away the cafe area, little side.
Oh, you know what? I haven't
Amazon
been there in a while, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's all good. They got a little side. It's like anyway. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
Thank it's okay though.
Thank you.
All right.
We definitely got to build some other time, like if you really want to, like,
okay, you want
deeper talk
or
let's
just
whatever.